It's February right now, and most gardeners are sitting inside looking at seed catalogs, waiting for spring. Meanwhile, there's a small group of gardeners who are already planting, and they'll be harvesting fresh food 4 6 weeks before everyone else. Here's what nobody tells you: February isn't too early. February is actually late for 12 specific crops that need cold soil and cool temperatures to thrive. Plant these in March or April, and you've already missed the window. They'll bolt, turn bitter, or produce half the harvest they should have. Today, I'm revealing the 12 crops you absolutely must plant in February, the zero-regret garden that guarantees you'll have fresh food before anyone else in your neighborhood. Stick around for number 7. It's a crop that actually gets sweeter when it freezes, and most people have no idea you can plant it this early. And number 12, it's the crop that will still be producing in November while everyone else's garden is dead. Let's dive in. Crop 1, peas, the February gold standard. If you only plant one thing in February, make it peas. This is non-negotiable. Why February? Peas germinate in soil as cold as 40°F. They actually prefer cold soil. They thrive in temperatures that would kill tomatoes or peppers. The ideal soil temperature for peas is 40–70°F. Once it consistently hits the 70s and 80s, peas start struggling. When it hits the 80s, they basically give up and stop producing. The February advantage. Plant peas in February, and they establish deep roots while the soil is cool. When spring arrives, they explode with growth. March or April planted peas, they're racing against rising temperatures. They produce for maybe 3 weeks before heat shuts them down. February planted peas, you get 6–8 weeks of production, sometimes more. How to plant? Direct sow into the garden as soon as soil can be worked, even if there's still frost in the forecast. Depth, 1–2 inches. Spacing, 2–3 inches apart. Support. Provide trellis or support for climbing varieties. Best varieties: Sugar Snap Tweet, edible pods. Oregon Sugar Pod, Hoopies, incredibly productive. Green Arrow, peas, coal harden. Regional timing: Zones 7–9, plant in February. Zones 5–6, late February to early March as soon as soil is workable. Zones 3–4, early to mid-March. The payoff: one 10-foot row of peas produces 4–6 pounds of pods at store prices for $6 per. That's $24–36 worth of organic snap peas from $3 worth of seeds. Crop 2, spinach, the cold season champion. Spinach is one of the most cold-hardy vegetables you can grow. It handles hard frosts down to 25°F without protection. Why February? Spinach bolts when days get long and warm. February planting gives you maximum harvest before that happens. The production. 1 square foot of spinach produces about 1 pound of leaves over 4–6 weeks of harvesting. That's $4.06 worth of organic spinach from a $2 packet of seeds. How to plant? Direct sow 1½ inch deep. Spacing 2–3 inches between plants thin to 4–6 inches as they grow. Succession plant every 2 weeks through March for continuous harvest. Best varieties: Thai, coal-resistant, cold-hardy. Space weaves, fast-growing. Bloomsdale long, standing eaves, classic variety. The secret: spinach seed can be direct sown on frozen ground in February. As the soil thaws and warms slightly, the seeds germinate. This gives you the absolute earliest spinach possible. Crop 3, lettuce, the cool season salad base. Lettuce planted in February produces the sweetest, most tender leaves you'll ever taste. Warm weather lettuce turns bitter and tough. Why February? Lettuce thrives in cool temperatures 45–65°F. It tolerates light frosts. February planting means it matures in ideal conditions. The strategy: don't plant all your lettuce at once. Plant a small amount every 2 weeks from February through April for continuous harvests. How to plant? Direct sow or transplant seedlings. Depth: 1–4 inch airly cover ead. Spacing: 6–8 inches for head lettuce, 4–6 inches for leaf lettuce. Best varieties: Jericho, heat-tolerant. Black-seeded Simpson lettuce, reliable. Winter density: romaine, cold, hardy. The value: one packet of lettuce seeds, $3, produces $40, $60 worth of organic salad greens if you succession plant properly. Crop 4, arugula, the spicy green. Arugula is incredibly cold hardy and one of the fastest growing greens, from seed to salad in 30-40 days. Why February? Arugula planted in warm weather turns so spicy it's almost inedible. February planted arugula has that perfect peppery bite without overwhelming heat. How to plant: direct sow 1/4 inch deep. Spacing: scatter seeds and thin to 3-4 inches. Harvest: cut outer leaves when 3-4 inches tall. The production: arugula produces continuously if you harvest outer leaves. One 3-foot row can give you salad greens for 6-8 weeks. Crop 5, radishes, the 25-day miracle. Radishes are the perfect proof of concept crop for new gardeners. They go from seed to harvest in 25-30 days. Why February? Radishes grown in cool soil are crisp and mild. Warm weather radishes are woody, pithy, and too spicy. How to plant: direct sow 1/2 inch deep. Spacing: 1-2 inches apart. Harvest when roots are 1 inch diameter. Don't wait too long. The succession strategy: plant a small row every week from February through April. You'll have fresh radishes constantly instead of 50 radishes all at once. Crop 6, carrots, the long season root. Carrots planted in February taste sweeter than any other time of year. Cool soil develops better flavor. Why February? Carrots take 60-80 days to mature. February planting means you're harvesting in April-May before heat arrives. The germination challenge: carrot seeds are slow, 14-21 days. In cold soil, they can take even longer. The solution: mix radish seeds with carrot seeds. Radishes germinate quickly and mark the row. You harvest radishes early, which thins the bed for carrots. How to plant: direct sow 1/4 inch deep. Spacing: thin to 2-3 inches apart. Keep soil moist during germination. Best varieties: Nantes, sweet. Chantenay, Ort stocky, good for heavy soil. Danvers, reliable. Crop 7, kale, the frost-sweetened green. Kale is one of the few vegetables that actually gets sweeter after frost. A hard freeze converts starches to sugars. Why February? February planted kale matures in cool weather and is ready to harvest just as frosts are ending. Perfect timing for maximum sweetness. How to plant: direct sow or transplant 1-1/4 inch deep. Spacing: 12-18 inches apart. Harvest: outer leaves continuously. Best varieties: winter boar early, incredibly cold hardy. Lacinato, tender. The production: 1 kale. Plant produces 2-3 pounds of leaves over several months. At store prices, $3-4 per tau, that's $6.12 per plant. Crop 8, onions from sets, the beginner's bulb. Onion sets, planted in February, give you the earliest onions and require almost zero skill. Why February? Onions need cool temperatures to establish roots, then long days to bulb up. February gives them maximum growing time. How to plant: push sets into soil so just the tip shows. Spacing: 4-6 inches apart. Harvest when tops fall over. The value: 1 pound of onion sets $5, produces 10-15 pounds of onions worth $20.30. Crop 9, Fava beans, the nitrogen-fixing powerhouse. Fava beans are incredibly cold-hardy and actually improve your soil by fixing nitrogen. Why February? Favas need cool weather to set pods. They hate heat. February planting gives them a full cool season to produce. How to plant: direct sow 2 inches deep. Spacing: 6-8 inches apart. Support: provide stakes or trellis. The dual benefit: harvest beans for eating, then cut plants at soil level and leave roots to decompose, releasing nitrogen for your next crop. Crop 10, cilantro, the quick bolting herb. Cilantro is notorious for bolting quickly in warm weather. February planting solves this. Why February? Cool temperatures delay bolting. February planted cilantro produces for 6-8 weeks instead of 2-3 weeks. How to plant? Direct sow and 4-inch deep, spacing 2-3 inches apart. Harvest, cut outer leaves continuously. The bonus, when it eventually bolts, let it flower. The seeds are valuable and the flowers attract beneficial insects. Crop 11. Turnips, the dual-purpose crop. Turnips give you 2 harvests, greens in 30 days, roots in 50-60 days. Why February? Cool weather turnips are sweet and tender. Warm weather turnips are woody and bitter. How to plant? Direct sow 1.5-inch deep. Spacing, thin to 4-6 inches. Harvest, greens when 4-6 inches tall, roots when 2-3 inches diameter. Best varieties: Hakure turnips, mild and sweet. Purple top white globe, traditional, reliable. Crop 12. Garlic Task Chance, V. Fall planted exception. If you didn't plant garlic in fall, late February is your last chance for spring planted garlic. Why February? Garlic needs cold exposure to form bulbs. February barely gives enough time, but it's better than nothing. How to plant? Plant cloves 2 inches deep, pointy end up. Spacing 6 inches apart. Mulch 2-3 inches of straw or leaves. The reality: spring planted garlic produces smaller bulbs than fall planted, but you'll still get usable garlic and can harvest scapes, the early flower stalk, which are delicious. The zero regret strategy. These 12 crops share one thing: you will never regret planting them in February. What you gain: earliest harvests in your neighborhood. Better flavor, cool weather vegetables taste superior. Longer harvest windows. Higher production. Less pest pressure, many pests aren't active yet. What you risk? Very little. These crops tolerate frost and cold soil. The worst case is slower germination if February is unusually cold. Your February action plan. Week 1. Plant peas, spinach, and lettuce, the big 3. Week 2. Add arugula, radishes, and carrots. Week 3. Plant kale, onion sets, and fava beans. Week 4. Finish with cilantro, turnips, and garlic if doing spring plant. Throughout February, succession plant lettuce, spinach, and radishes every 7-10 days. These 12 crops: peas, spinach, lettuce, arugula, radishes, carrots, kale, onion sets, fava beans, cilantro, turnips, and garlic are your zero-regret February garden. Plant them now, and you'll be harvesting fresh food in April while your neighbors are just starting to plant. Wait until March or April to plant these, and you've missed the window. You'll get half the production and inferior flavor. The choice is yours, but February is happening right now. If this fired you up, do 3 things. First, comment planting below if you're actually going to do this. I want to see how many people are taking action. Second, subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss the March Must Plant video coming in 2 weeks. Third, give this a thumbs up if it helped you realize February isn't too early. It's actually the perfect time. Thank you for watching. Here's to gardens that start in February and produce all season long. Now go plant something while everyone else is still waiting. I'll see you in the next video.